Let's get right into it. Number 10, surveillance Santa. Every December, we casually tell children there's an elderly stranger watching them at all times, not metaphorically, literally. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. And somehow, this doesn't trigger any alarm bells. From a psychological standpoint, Santa is basically your first introduction to a surveillance state. Before CCTV cameras, before phone tracking, before your smart fridge judging you for buying ice cream again, there's Santa. A red-suited, omniscient being who rewards obedience with material goods and punishes moral failure with coal. Or worse, disappointment. What makes this creepy isn't just the watching, it's the moral conditioning. Your brain learns early that behavior is always being evaluated by an unseen authority. You don't behave well because it's right. You behave well because someone might be watching. That's not ethics. That's performance anxiety with tinsel on it. And notice how vague the rules are. Be good. What does that mean? Don't hit your sibling? Don't think impure thoughts? Don't question capitalism? It's unclear, but the judgment is final. Santa doesn't ask follow-up questions. He doesn't do nuance. He just checks a list like a celestial HR department. Even better, parents reinforce this by staging evidence. Cookies disappear, footprints appear, letters get answered in suspiciously familiar handwriting. You're being gaslit by your own family in the name of holiday cheer. That realization usually hits later in life, right around the same time you realize trust issues didn't come from nowhere. Basically, Santa teaches kids 3 things early. Authority is invisible, surveillance is normal, and love can be conditional. Festive? Absolutely. Slightly dystopian? Also yes. Number 9, decorating dead trees. At some point, humans collectively decided that the best way to celebrate warmth, life, and togetherness was to bring a dead tree into the living room and slowly watch it dry out. Think about that. You cut down a tree, you drag its corpse inside, you prop it upright like it's still alive, then you decorate it with lights and shiny objects as it sheds needles and slowly dies harder. And everyone just agrees this is cozy. From a psychological angle, this is a classic example of symbolic denial. The tree represents life, growth, and nature, but only after we've killed it and stripped it of roots. We're celebrating vitality by controlling and domesticating it, nature, but make it obedient. The lights help, of course. Humans are extremely easy to distract with twinkly things. Add a pleasant smell, and suddenly nobody's asking why there's a decomposing plant next to the couch. Your brain goes, ooh, shiny, and the existential questions politely leave the room. Historically, evergreen trees symbolized immortality during winter, which is ironic because now they symbolize immortality by dying specifically for the holiday. That's not symbolism, that's sacrifice with extra steps. And let's not ignore the fire hazard element. You wrap a dry object in electricity and place it indoors. This is something your survival instincts should object to. But tradition overrides logic. If it hasn't burned the house down yet, it probably won't this year. Probably. So yes, Christmas trees are beautiful, but they're also a ritualized reminder that humans love aesthetics so much we'll ignore basic survival instincts for vibes. Number 8. Forced joy season. There is no other time of year where happiness is more aggressively mandatory. You're not just supposed to enjoy Christmas. You're supposed to radiate joy. You're supposed to be grateful, cheerful, generous, and emotionally available on a schedule. Feeling sad, stressed, lonely, that's inconvenient. Please reschedule your breakdown for January. Psychologically, this creates something called emotional dissonance. Your internal state doesn't match the external expectation, so your brain goes into performance mode. You smile wider, you laugh louder, you say, I'm fine, like it's a reflex. And the disconnect quietly drains you. The creepiness comes from how normalized this is. We treat holiday sadness as a personal failure instead of a natural response to pressure, memories, finances, or loss. If you're not happy, something must be wrong with you. Not the expectations, not the obligations, you. And the music doesn't help. Cheerful songs repeat constantly, drilling the same emotional command into your nervous system. Feel joy now. Over time, your brain starts associating those jingles with stress rather than comfort. Congratulations, you now have a Pavlovian response to sleigh bells. Forced joy also discourages honesty. You don't want to be that person who brings down the mood, so everyone pretends, which means you're surrounded by people who look happy while secretly struggling. That's not festive. That's a seasonal masquerade. Basically, Christmas doesn't just ask for happiness. It demands it. And your brain, under pressure, complies by faking it, which is exhausting in a sweater. Number 7, sitting on a stranger's lap. At some point, we collectively decided that it's totally normal to hand your child to a bearded stranger in a mall, plop them on his lap, and ask them to confess their deepest desires. From a distance, this looks unhinged. Up close, it's still unhinged, just with glitter. Psychologically, this is a masterclass in forced vulnerability. Kids are told this man is magical, kind, and trustworthy, so their nervous system overrides its natural "this is weird" alarm. If they feel uncomfortable, they assume they're wrong, because adults say it's fine. That's a powerful lesson to teach someone with zero life experience. Then comes the power imbalance. Santa is bigger, louder, and positioned physically above the child. He controls the gifts, he controls the judgment, and he's asking personal questions. What do you want? Have you been good? That's not a casual conversation. That's an interview with consequences. Adults laugh because it's cute, but watch the photos. Half the kids are frozen in terror. The other half are dissociating like tiny office workers trapped in their first bad meeting. And instead of responding to fear, we immortalize it with a camera. What makes it creepier is that this ritual normalizes ignoring discomfort for the sake of tradition. If something feels off, but everyone else says it's normal, you learn to sit still and endure it. Smile. Don't make a scene. The photo matters more than your feelings. Basically, Mall Santa isn't just awkward, it's a socially sanctioned lesson in compliance. Ho ho no. Number 6. Christmas songs that never stop. There is no escape. By mid-December, your brain is trapped in a loop of bells, cheer, and aggressively upbeat lyrics. You don't choose the music chooses you. Grocery store, jingle, elevator, jingle, gas station bathroom, somehow also jingle. This works because repetition rewires your brain. Songs you hear frequently become familiar, and familiar feels safe. That's why advertisers love repetition, and why Christmas music feels both comforting and enraging at the same time. Your brain recognizes it, but your soul is tired. Psychologically, this is called cognitive saturation. Your mental bandwidth gets clogged with the same melodies, leaving less room for actual thought. That's why people feel weirdly foggy during the holidays. You're not relaxed. You're overstimulated. Even creepier, most Christmas songs are about joy, togetherness, and nostalgia. If your reality doesn't match that, congratulations, you now feel alienated by a song about sleigh rides. Nothing says seasonal despair like being sad in a Target aisle while a choir insists this is the most wonderful time of the year. The music isn't just background noise, it's emotional instruction. Feel happy. Remember better times. Buy things. And if you don't comply, it just plays again. Basically, Christmas music is a cheerful hostage situation with bells. Number 5. Gift exchange anxiety. Gift-giving sounds wholesome until you realize it's a ritualized judgment system. You're not just exchanging objects. You're being evaluated. Did you spend enough? Did you choose correctly? Did you put thought into it? Is the emotional value proportional to the price? Nobody says this out loud, but everyone feels it. Your brain treats gifts as social currency. A good gift signals understanding, effort, and care. A bad gift triggers overthinking spirals that start with "they'll hate it" and end with "do they even know me?" And then there's the performative reaction. You must act surprised, delighted, grateful, even if you're holding something you will never use, never wear, and quietly re-gift in February. Your face becomes part of the ritual. For kids, this wires expectations tightly to reward. Behavior equals stuff. Love equals objects. That's not generosity. That's conditioning with wrapping paper. Adults aren't immune either. Financial stress skyrockets because nobody wants to be seen as inadequate. You're not just buying gifts, you're protecting your social standing. Basically, gift exchange turns affection into a high-stakes emotional exam, and everyone's pretending it's fun. Number 4, ritualized family exposure. Christmas is one of the only times where society expects you to emotionally expose yourself to people you've spent the rest of the year carefully avoiding. Old conflicts, unresolved trauma, political opinions that should never leave drafts? Perfect. Put them all in one room, add alcohol, reduce personal space, and call it bonding. From a psychological perspective, this is forced intimacy. You're not choosing closeness, it's scheduled. The calendar says togetherness, so your nervous system has to comply whether it's ready or not. That's why holiday gatherings feel exhausting even when nothing bad happens. Your brain is on high alert, scanning for landmines. And the roles come back instantly. You're not an adult with boundaries. You're the quiet one, the screw-up, or the kid who used to do that thing. Family dynamics are powerful because your brain learned them early before you had defenses. One comment can undo years of therapy like it's a speed run. What makes it creepy is how mandatory it feels. If you don't show up, you're labeled difficult or ungrateful. Opting out of emotional discomfort is framed as a moral failure. Love, apparently, means proximity, even if that proximity hurts. So you sit there smiling while your nervous system quietly begs for a fire alarm. Festive. Number 3, cookies for a home intruder. Let's talk about the snacks. Every year, we enthusiastically prepare food for a man who is, by definition, breaking into your house. Chimney entry, unauthorized access, midnight arrival. And your response is, should we do chocolate chip or oatmeal? From a behavioral standpoint, this is about normalizing boundary violations when they're wrapped in kindness. Santa doesn't knock. He doesn't ask. He enters while you sleep. But it's okay, because he brings gifts. That's a deeply confusing lesson if you think about it for more than 5 seconds. Your brain learns that if someone has good intentions, or claims to, they're allowed to ignore boundaries. That generosity cancels intrusion, which is fine for fictional elves but a questionable framework for real life. Also, the cookies are bait. You're leaving an offering to ensure a positive outcome. That's not hospitality, that's appeasement. Congratulations, you've invented a cheerful version of an ancient sacrifice ritual. And the carrots for the reindeer? That's just feeding accomplices. Basically, Christmas teaches us to reward break-ins as long as they're whimsical. Number 2, the countdown obsession. Advent calendars, countdowns, only X sleeps until Christmas. We turn time itself into a source of emotional tension. Your brain loves anticipation, but too much of it creates anxiety. Every day becomes a reminder of expectation. Something big is coming, something important, something you'd better be ready for emotionally, financially, and socially. For kids, this stretches time painfully. For adults, it compresses it. Suddenly, it's December 23rd and you feel like you forgot to breathe for 3 weeks. What's creepy is how the buildup matters more than the day. Once Christmas is over, there's a crash, dopamine drops, decorations come down, reality returns. The thing you were waiting for dissolves in 24 hours and your brain goes, that's it? This cycle trains you to chase peaks instead of appreciating stability. Joy becomes an event, not a state. And when it's gone, you feel oddly empty, like emotional whiplash with wrapping paper. Basically, Christmas turns time into a pressure cooker. Number 1, the collective agreement. The creepiest tradition isn't a thing, it's the silence around all of it. Millions of people agree without discussion to perform the same rituals, repeat the same stories, and suspend disbelief at the same time every year. We don't question it, we don't analyze it, we just do it, because everyone else is doing it. That's powerful, and a little unsettling. Psychologically, this is social reinforcement at its strongest. Traditions survive not because they make sense, but because questioning them risks exclusion. So we comply, we smile, we participate, even when parts of it feel strange, stressful, or fake. And that's the real creepiness. Not Santa, not trees, not cookies. It's how easily humans synchronize behavior when comfort and belonging are on the line. Basically, Christmas is a mass ritual of agreed-upon nonsense. And it works because belonging feels better than logic. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them. Sketchy Logic Explains is an educational entertainment animation channel that explores the truth behind everyday mysteries. I put genuine effort into drawing every single day. It's not easy at all. Please help me with 1 subscription. It truly means a lot to me. I love you all.